All right, Alabama fans. Alabama takes this one 17-3 against South Florida. An absolutely crappy performance all the way around. I mean, it was a win, but there should be nobody, and I repeat, nobody out there that is happy with this win today, going down to South Florida. Sure, terrible conditions in the first half. Whatever, who cares? That was one of the worst Alabama performances I have ever seen. Scrap last week versus Texas. Scrap some games in the past that have just been absolutely terrible for Alabama. We're going to get into it right here. I'm going to rip these guys apart, to be quite frank with you, because I am livid right now. So let's start off with some injuries just to clear the air. Jaheim Otis, we didn't see him at all in this game. He was in a walking boot pregame. We didn't hear anything about that leading up to the game. So that was a little bit of surprise. Tim Smith was in that spot for him today. Kendrick Law apparently didn't travel with the team, I guess. He wasn't out there for pregame warmups. That's another guy that, haven't heard anything, about, leading up into this week. And I guess, that comes Nick Saban never really tells us anything unless somebody asks. So, whatever. Jalen Key got injured in the game, but it looked like he was fine. He came back pretty soon. And the biggest one, in my opinion, that we should note is Tyler Buchner did not play a snap from what I saw anyways in this game. Terrence Ferguson was out there at left guard pretty much the entire game, I believe. There were some times where we didn't really get the best view, unfortunately, because of the weather. They had to pull the crew off of the cameras. They showed him one time during a timeout, and it looked like he had that massage gun on the inside of his leg, kind of in that groin area. That's pure speculation. I have no idea. That was just one shot that they showed of him. So who knows what's wrong with Tyler Buchner. You hate to say it, but he better be hurt. There better be some reason why he wasn't in this game, because that offensive line was absolutely terrible. And he is the best offensive lineman we have right now. We're going to get into it right here with just some of my takes. The quarterback play, you could take it with a grain of salt because that offensive line was so bad. And right now they're 0 for 3 on games showing up at all. But when it comes to the quarterbacks, whoever's decision it was to start Tyler Buchner in this game, Tyler Buchner in this game, should have their ass chewed. Whether it was Tommy Rees, Nick Saban, Miss Terry needs to chew somebody's ass out if it was Nick Saban. I'll tell you that right now, because he is obviously quarterback 3 on this team. He was absolutely terrible in the first half, really in the first, quarter and a half maybe of this game. He started the game. The O-line was pretty bad for him, but he didn't make any plays whatsoever. He made 2-3 runs himself that were okay. Whatever. Who cares? When you're missing guys that are just wide open, when you're throwing the ball in the dirt on 3rd and 3 and the guy's wide open in the flat, you got to hit him. That's terrible. He made one throw. It was a quick just out route to Malik Benson. Threw it 3 inches above the ground. Malik Benson has to dive for it. Gain of nothing. I mean, what are we doing, man? Buchner 5 for 14 on the game, 34 yards. Tell you what, I hope he doesn't play a single snap the rest of the year. We got 2 quarterbacks that are obviously better than him. And at this point, you know what? I'd put Dylan Lonergan over him. And we haven't even seen anything from Dylan Lonergan besides from the A-Day game. That was awful. That was terrible. He's no more inaccurate than Jalen Milroe. Everybody wants to claim Jalen Milroe is just terrible in the mid game, which, the stats haven't been great for him. But I tell you what, Tyler Buchner is no better there. Ty Simpson, he got a shot, and I mean, he won the game. He put together a couple scoring drives for us. The one at the end of the game is like, whatever. That was mostly Roydell Williams anyways. One thing that Nick Saban said, I believe it was coming out of halftime, was Ty Simpson would practice the best this week. Well, if Ty Simpson practiced the best this week, why did Tyler Buchner start the game? That makes absolutely zero sense to me. Zero sense to me. I mean, what are we seeing? What are we seeing at practice? I understand we're not there and we don't get what's going on. The coaches understand what's going on. But I'll be honest, man, my faith in the coaches so far this year has just been absolutely shook. I mean, Ty Simpson didn't get started off very well. I think he started off like 0 for 3, 0 for 4, something like that. Then he finally hit C.J. Dupree on that 45-yard pass that ended up setting up a touchdown for Alabama. But then there were other points. There was a 3rd and 14 where he had the opportunity to really make a statement for himself. It was a 3rd and 14. It's a pass play. He scrambles and then he dives like 5 yards short of the first down with, there's one guy over here and one guy over here, put the shoulder down, split the guys, maybe run somebody over, maybe don't. But you know what? At least it shows to everybody that you're willing to ride out for this team. You know what I mean? Like, he wussed out, to be honest with you, on that play in particular. He really could have made a statement on that play. Diving short instead of putting that shoulder down, to me, I don't know. We'll see what happens next week against Ole Miss. But I tell you what, Lane Kiffin is licking his chops right now. And I'm at a loss for words from this offense. Do you go back to Jalen Milroe? Does Ty Simpson start next week? Probably depends on who has the better week of practice, I guess. According to Nick Saban, Ty Simpson had the best week of practice, and he didn't start the game. So I don't know where we go from here. To me, this week left more questions at the quarterback position unanswered than it answered. So I want to know from you guys right now, pick a quarterback. You got 3 options right now. Type TY for Ty Simpson, JM for Jalen Milroe, TB for Tyler Buchner. If I see a TB in the chat, my head might explode. It's either Ty Simpson or Jalen Milroe at this point, what we saw. I don't know who made the call. Obviously it was Nick Saban that made the call, but whoever was in his ear, Tommy Rees, whoever, that thought Tyler Buchner should have started this game, man, you've shook me. I am shook on that decision. So, basically, for you guys, type TY for Ty Simpson, JM for Jalen Milroe. And if you want to, whatever, TB for Tyler Buchner if you want to troll me in the comments section, whatever. The more comments, the better, I guess. Pick your guy in the comments section. The next group that I want to focus on is the offensive line. 0 for 3 so far. Not very good in the first game of the season versus Middle Tennessee. I tried to give them the benefit of the doubt. Obviously, I shouldn't have. Pretty bad versus Texas last week, and just an absolute clown show this week versus South Florida. Tyler Buchner said this week, I believe it was in the Monday press conference, oh, we're pissed off. We're pissed off. And I get it. Tyler Buchner didn't play in this game. But if he's the only one, he must be the only one pissed off. Because, what are we doing? Giving up 5 sacks to South Florida in this game. No push on run plays. I tell you what, I have not seen an offensive line play worse under Nick Saban in his entire time at Alabama. This is probably the worst offensive line. Now, maybe you can go back to that 2017 team. I was 9 years old, so I don't really remember how good they were then or how bad they were then. But I tell you what, this is the worst one that I have seen. Like we said, Terrence Ferguson started at left guard today. He's just as bad as everybody else out there, in my opinion. Seth McLaughlin, oh boy. Oh boy, I am about done with Seth McLaughlin at center, man. I am about to the point to put Darian Dalcourt back in there at center, because the first thing that needs to happen is the center needs to get the quarterback the ball pretty relatively, consistently. It's one thing if it's here, it's one thing if it's here. I mean, my God, having to pick the ball up off the ground, I'm just guessing here, 65% of the time in the first half. It is absolutely ridiculous that we are going through this when all offseason we were told that this offensive line was going to come out here and just dominate teams. They haven't dominated anybody. Not a single soul. Caden Proctor, the kid's a freshman, and I don't want to harp on him too hard because he is a freshman, but my God, is it obvious. I mean, we don't have the numbers quite yet. Who gives up, how many stats? That'll probably be, a video Monday, probably earlier in the week. But it's going to be interesting to see who gave up what sacks in this game. I can think of at least one, probably two that Caden Proctor gave up. Go back to last week, gave up a couple more. It doesn't bode well for Alabama going into SEC play next week. I can think of off the top of my head 3 or 4 teams that are looking at this Alabama team right now and just licking their chops. And it doesn't make me happy at all. Frankly, it pisses me off, to be honest with you. If it's 3rd and 3, this right here is how much confidence I have that we pick it up. We pick up the first down on a run play. I have no confidence in them, to be quite frank. Really it doesn't matter who's playing quarterback right now, because if the offensive line doesn't get that foot out of their ass, this season's over. And that might be a little bit of an over-exaggeration. Let me know if it is in the comments section. But it makes me so mad. It makes me livid that we see an Alabama offensive line just look this bad. That's that. Whatever. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Grade it A, B, C, D, or F. Grade the offensive line. I'm giving them a D. I'm giving them a D this week. Towards the end of the game, they established themselves a little bit in the run. But this is against a South Florida team where the spread was, 31? I don't remember off the top of my head. We should have beat the crap out of this team. So that drive at the end of the game doesn't mean anything to me at all. At that point, once we picked up that 4th down at the end of the game, it was pretty much over. So let me know in the comment sections. Grade the offensive line, A, B, C, D, or F. Like I said, I'm giving them a D for this game. If you think it's a D or an F, spam it in the comments section. Let me know how you feel. I don't care if you put D or F in there 20 times. Copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, post. I don't care. Because this is, man, like I said, the worst Alabama offensive line I have ever seen under Nick Saban. Lastly, the last thing that I want to talk about is Alabama's identity. Late in the 3rd quarter, USF fans, you could hear them on the broadcast chanting overrated to Alabama. That's never happened under Nick Saban. I'll tell you that. It's always, we want Bama, not overrated. That, I don't even know if I want to say that makes me mad. I want to say that just disappoints me. That a fan base like this, a team like USF, who's not good, by the way, let's make that clear. South Florida is not a good football team. And we went out there today and made them look good. And that just really disappoints me. Roydell Williams, like I talked about earlier, he is one of the only players today that I thought really showed grit on offense. Maybe throw Ty Simpson in there. whatever. He played okay. I'm not out here dogging Ty Simpson. He played okay in this game. Ended 5 for 9, 73 yards passing. Most of those, over half of those were on one throw to CJ Dupree for 45 yards. But at the end of the day, I worry about the identity so far of this Alabama team. We have Ole Miss next week, Arkansas coming up, we have Tennessee coming up, and God so help the world, if Auburn beats us this year, because I talked so much crap to my friends who are Auburn fans, if Auburn beats us this year, that'll be an all-time rant. That'll be an all-time post-game rant for me. One word describing Alabama's identity so far, 3 games into the season. Let me know in the comments section. You can put it more than once in there. You can comment one word. You know what? Go ahead and comment another one if you feel like it. If there's more than one word that you think describes this team so far, my one word so far, soft. Super soft. And it is very disappointing to see a team that I thought coming into the season was going to be a whole lot better than what they've showed through 3 games. So, put your one-word description of Alabama's identity in the comment section for me. And make sure you subscribe right now at Roll Tide TV to the Alabama Football Report. I don't know how many times I have to say this, guys. I love this channel. I want nothing more than this channel to succeed. So hit that subscription button right now. Our next goal is 10,000. We're about 450 or something like that away from hitting 10,000 subscribers on this channel. So for me, hit that subscription button. And you know what? We got Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss next week. We'll see how it goes. I hope it's a whole lot better than that.